Welcome to Review Nation, and today is the day where I give you the best metal albums of April 2020. So this month, there have been so many amazing albums this month that I just couldn't fit. Remember, this list is completely subjective, and what I want you guys to do is comment below your top 10 albums of April. So let's get on with the first album. Coming at number 10 is Horsley, Staring to Death and Be Still. This album is a really atmospheric, technical death metal album as well. Now, his vocals are so damn demonic in this, and the drumming and the instrumentals on this album are absolutely insane. There are so many time signatures, very progressive as well, but they incorporate those progressive elements into those time signatures. This is such a chaotic album that it's definitely not for a beginner who listens to technical death metal. This album incorporates black metal, at times doom metal elements, and where they have really changed their sound. The previous album was much more chaotic, very similar to bands like Death Spell and Mega, but then this is still a very chaotic album, but it stays true to Horsley as well. Not to mention those vocals are insane, the drumming is out of this world as well. But what I really enjoy about this album is the intensity, like it's the journey they take you. It's quite a relaxing album as well, but it's chaotic as fuck. I really enjoy this album for those reasons. Coming in at number 9 is Live Burial and the album Unending Futility. This is like Death reincarnated, to be honest, because the vocals on this album are so damn intense, and at times he sounds like Chuck from Death. This sounds like something out of Death. It does the riffs on this album, the vocals, even the drumming. We've got that Death vibe. This is a death metal album. It's like an old school death metal album. It's quite proggy as well. There are very long songs, about 6 or 7 minutes. They take you for a ride. This is one of the albums that I could have definitely said this would have been my favorite album of April at the start of April. But you know what? There's been so many good albums that I had to actually put one of my favorite albums, Live Burial, at number 9. That's how good this month has been. Coming in at number 8 is the Black Dahlia Murder and the album Verminous. This album is intense as anything. It's a melodic death metal album. His vocals are so damn aggressive, so damn good as well. Reminds me vocalist of Danny Filth, especially through songs like The Werewolf Feast. My god, that's got some Cradle of Filth vibes. It's a really good album, it really is. I love the flow of this album. This album flows so well. You look at the album cover and you know what you're in for. The Black Dahlia Murder deliver on this album. It's a solid album in my opinion. The guitar work on this album is just out of this world, and it's a solid record, it really is. Coming in at number 7 is Burishi and their album Old Smoke. Now, if you watched my discovery, you knew that this is probably going to make it on my top 10 because I absolutely fell in love with this album. I really do. If you like a Mastodon Opeth vibe, this is like Mastodon and Opeth together. You got the Opeth progressive elements along with the sludgy elements by Mastodon. Even the vocals at times sound like Mikhail Akradel. That's how good this album is. It's like a sludgy album, very progressive as well. We're talking about the tone of guitars, and the drumming on this is fantastic. But it's around about 50 minutes, but it's also such an intense album as well. The vocals on this album are fantastic. After listening to Burishi's first album, I feel that maybe the first album was slightly better than Old Smoke, but Old Smoke is just a banger. Songs like Blood Aurora and Old Smoke really tie everything together. So coming at number 7 is Malice and the album To Mantle the Rising Sun. This is an atmospheric, melodic black metal album. It is such a good time. It really is. I was going to put Black Curse instead of Malice, but you know what? Black Curse and the Malice. Oh wow, I was really torn with these albums, but I decided to put the Malice because I prefer to listen to the Malice because it's so damn melodic as well. The guitars on this album, the vocals, it's such a really enjoyable album, not to mention how intense some of these songs are. Like Land of the Bewitched has really nice acoustic moments, but it's also quite atmospheric. It's like you're going to war, and I love it. And overall, it's a really tight and cohesive album, running around 48 minutes as well. If you haven't checked the Malice to Mantle the Rising Sun, go check it out. So coming in at number 5 is Warbringer, Weapons of Tomorrow.
A silent death. Now the silence calls me home.
This is a thrash album, but it's a very different thrash album. When I first looked at this album cover, I wasn't really intrigued. I didn't really want to check it out. But when I first heard the first song, I went, wow, this album is unbelievable. This is a sort of black and thrash metal album. Reminds of bands like Creator, Skeleton Witch. They incorporate death metal, black metal elements throughout this album, such as Defiance of Fate has such a black metal tone. It's very black and thrash. I really love that. And overall, this album just flows like water. Maybe the first 3 songs don't really flow well, but once you get in the middle, fuck me, it's like a whole different band. It really is. Notre Dame is an absolutely amazing song as well. The end of the album's Glorious End, which basically ties everything together. And could I dare I say, it's probably the best thrash metal album of 2020. Okay, so we're halfway through. Let's now go to the stinkers. This is basically my opinion of the albums that really didn't gravitate towards me, or the albums that I thought were shit. So the first album is Them, Colony Collapse. A lot of people love this album, but to me, I thought this album was shit. I couldn't get halfway through the album, to be honest. It's just noise. It is. Apparently it's grindcore. You know what? I love bands like Anal Nathrak, Cattle Decapitation, and they're sort of grindcore. Anal Nathrak, all those at times black metal, incorporate elements of grindcore, but I listened to this grindcore album, Verm, Colony Collapse, and I thought this album was the most horrible thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, it's a horrible album. I didn't enjoy this at all. So the next album I thought was absolutely trash was Cordyceps and the album Betrayal. You know what? It may not be trash, but I thought the vocals were really bad on this album, and I'll be talking about another album which the vocals were pretty bad as well. Sure, it's a really brutal death metal album, but you know what? I like bands like Cannibal Corpse, and I love the vocals on Cannibal Corpse, but Cordyceps' vocals are fucking atrocious. They really are. Really put a bad taste in my mouth. It wasn't interesting. It wasn't innovative. It was just the same old monotonous shit that you hear from other death metal albums, and this is what really pissed me off about this band. Yeah, Cordyceps Betrayal can definitely get in the bin. So the next album that was pretty bad in my opinion was Cora, Timaeus. This album was crap. It's a black metal album, but it's a terrible black metal album. They're doing black metal completely wrong on this. Surely it's quite innovative at times, but I hate his clean vocals on this album. It's like this band doesn't know where they are going. And it's one of the worst albums of April in my opinion. This is a sort of a stinker. I still kind of enjoy The Wizard Subterranean Exile. This album is okay in my opinion. The instrumentals are fine, but the problem I got with this album is the vocals. The vocals are very monotonous. They don't really convey emotion. And to be honest, the vocals are quite bad on this album. They are. I don't really enjoy the vocals, and this is probably why it's going into the stinker section. But that's all I can say about this album. It's okay. So now we're going to Danzig Sings Elvis. Oh, this album's pretty bad in my opinion. His vocals are so damn drony. Listen to Always On My Mind and listen to his version of Always On My Mind. It's fucking atrocious. It really is. He sounds like a drunken clown singing on this album. He really does. Pocketful of Rainbows is okay song. One Night With You, his voice is good, but you know what? The production is absolutely thin. Some Elvis songs are heavier than the covers, to be honest. Probably the contender of the worst album of the year because I absolutely hated it. Like when I first heard the first 2 songs, I said, oh okay, he's okay. And then when I hit Fever and when I hit Always On My Mind, oh god, it was absolutely horrible. Get in the bin, Danzig. It's a disgrace to Elvis's legacy. Possibly the worst album of the year at the moment is Witch Taint, and the album Sons of Midwestern Darkness. Alright, this is a parody album, but I thought this was a very bad taste parody album. It's a black metal parody album. What can I say? I didn't enjoy this. Comment below if you enjoyed this album, because certainly I didn't enjoy this album. What can I say? At times it sounds like black metal, at times it doesn't. The songs are terrible. The songs are absolutely terrible. They try to be funny as well, but they're trying to be funny as well. But get in the bin. We go back to the best metal albums of 2020. I just needed a rant of the albums that I heard that were absolutely terrible. Coming at number 4 is Alda and their album Omens.
Wait for it to fall. Singing with the eyes of an
Omens! Oh wow, what an incredible album this is. It really is. Maybe in the near future this will be higher up the list, but this is recently new. And I've been listening to this album so many times. I have, and I absolutely adore this album. So the next 4 could possibly alternate between a number 1 spot in my opinion, because this is how good these albums are. Alda is a progressive rock metal band, you could say, incorporating at times psychedelic elements. The guitars on this are so damn interesting in tone. I really love his unique vocals. Halcyon, what an incredible song. The melody on this, Embers, and not to mention Omens. That melody, that chorus is so damn good, but I love the guitars. I love the guitar licks throughout this album. Yeah, definitely one of the best metal albums of April. So coming at number 3 is Vazcons and the album Black Waves. Wow, this album is something else. It really is. It's awesome. If you want black metal, like this, you want some aggressive, intense black metal like this, go check out Black Waves. It's just a brilliant album overall. It really is. Death Magic is an incredible song. The overall darkness of this album, incorporating black and death metal at times. I think this is sort of a black and death metal album, I'm not too sure. They incorporate elements of black metal, but I'm pretty sure this is more of a black and death metal album. But it's so damn good. If you like bands like Behemoth, Maguire, you're gonna really enjoy Black Waves, because this is such a aggressive album, but it's beautiful at times. So coming in at number 2 is Funeral Leech and the album Death Meditation. This album is a Death Doom album, and this album really blew me away. The chugging guitar riffs, the slow tempo songs, the really long songs as well. This is definitely the best Death Doom albums of the year in my opinion, along with Drown's album, which was Funeral Doom. But this is the best Death Doom album. I'm gonna say this is the best Death Doom album of the year at the moment, because if you like Death Doom, you're gonna really love this. I Am the Cosmos. The Downpour is such an energetic, it's just an amazing energetic way to start off the album. This album has energy, but it's still very slow paced album. Like, it really reminds me of bands such as Hooded Menace, at times Swallow the Sun. It's just got the realms of that intensity for that band. And so coming in at number 1 is Catatonia and the album City Burials.
take my offering.
Okay, so I did a review for this, and I'm pretty sure you guys knew my number 1 spot, to be honest. Even before you clicked on this video, it's Catatonia. Catatonia are such an interesting band in my opinion. I absolutely love all their albums. All their albums like 9, and this album is no different. It's so damn different. You got guitar solos throughout this album. The previous album was more progressive. This album is at times progressive, but they incorporate elements of some really heavy moments for Catatonia as well. But Jonas's vocals, man. Jonas's vocals is on another level. I love his vocals throughout this album. The Vanishes is such a beautiful, angelic song. I really love Behind the Blood, which is quite a heavy metal song as well. Something very different. Never heard by Catatonia before. L'Aqua, a beautiful electronic synth pop song. Beautiful song. And to end off the album, Untrodden, which is such an amazing guitar solo you get. This is definitely my best album of April. So let me know in the comments what your favorite album of April was. So keep the discussion going in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one.